Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to talk about my massive power core balance right now in my account, because I do want to share some insight. I know I've been getting quite a few questions about how this balance is built up over time. So yeah, just figured I make a video on this to share my insight, how I've been saving resources. And honestly speaking, guys, it's one of the most important, if not the most important resource in the game, because of the versatility that power cores offer in the game. It's the only resource in the game that can give you an edge on, new characters being released initially on day one. You can open up power core orbs for character shards. It's the only way to refresh campaign energy nodes. If you, say for instance, want to farm, more fragments of a certain node, well, you can do that by using the power cores to refresh a node. And furthermore, it's the only way to add additional energy if you want to take advantage of set events, especially if you're free to play like myself and you want to be able to, have a chance at a leaderboard against the other spenders and dolphins. Well, guess what? You can actually use power cores like shown on screen here by tapping the yellow energy, and you can actually be adding more. Oh, sorry, that one has the yellow, but let me do that again. If I tap again, you can actually spend 50 power cores here and boom, add additional campaign energy in preparation for a big event, such as like the ones we typically have seen where you have to hoard for a leaderboard competition. Now, I do want to walk you guys through where the power cores come from, so that way you can understand from a daily perspective how I'm personally able to spend 200 cores per day, because I know a lot of folks are like, oh, you know what, Rage, not everyone can be top 10 in arena. Arena is going to be the main component where it drives the power core generation, but there's other aspects of the game that I want to walk you through, so that way you know for sure that it's not just arena. There's other things you can do in the game, that way you can maximize the generation of power cores. And that's how I've amassed 20,000 power cores over these past few months. So guys, I think this is a perfect segue here just to illustrate for you that obviously arena is the most important. And what I really appreciate arena is that you don't need to have, 10, 15, 20 characters of the best characters in the game all leveled up. You just need 5 or 6 consistent meta characters, and they can actually get the job done here. And for example, there's no better way to illustrate this than showing you where my TCP is compared to some of these top players in my arena, right? I'm currently only sitting at 49 million TCP total. And even if you look at the top 2 guys right above me, Mr. Vor, he's at 85 million. Big Slick at 65, even players below me, Fetty, sitting at 83. So the list goes on and on. It's not about a roster check, because at the end of the day, it's going to be your 5 best or 6 best strong characters, and you're making sure that you're active in this game mode. That's how I've been able to stay afloat and able to capitalize on the power cores. And it scales quite a bit, guys. Real quickly here, if you're on rank 4 to 5, you're getting 350 per day. So for events where I'm spending 200 cores per day, this easily doubles that almost. So it's pretty astronomical if you can get to this ranking. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to assume that you folks are trying to get into this top 100 range. Even if you're able to land 51 to 100, you're getting 150 cores per day. That's still a decent amount. That's personally what I would recommend. And as you obviously build up your roster, key characters, and those meta tunes that we talked about, well, you can slowly work your way up. But arena obviously goes without saying, this is the most important one. Make sure that you can do as well as you can, because you're generating the majority of your power cores from specifically the arena. Next up, in case you guys aren't aware, spending gold per day is going to go get allocated to this golden opportunity milestone. Currently right now for myself and how I budget, I only spend about 6 million gold max per day, as you can see on the left there. But I do want to point out there's areas of this milestone where you're getting power cores. And typically if you're spending 2.3 gold per day, 2.3 million gold per day, you're able to capitalize on the power cores shown here. So milestone 2, it gives you 10 right there. Milestone 3 gives you 10 right there. Milestone 5, there's a 15 generated right there. And then finally, I believe this is that 2.3 million range at 15 power cores additionally at milestone 7. So that actually gives you a total of 50 per day if you're spending 2.3 million gold per day. So it adds up over time. That 50 plus the 150 from the arena is able to give you the self-sufficient tier of 200 per day, if that's kind of what you want to do to maintain yourself in events. That's why it's important, guys, to spend gold per day and not just to overload it on a single day, because you're potentially missing out on an opportunity like this daily where it does add up. Now, I also want to point out, in the milestones here, there's actually another one that's tied back to some power cores that you might want to take advantage of. There's 2 Save the Worlds, and the one that you want to be looking at here is the one that's in purple with the checkboxes actually checked off. if you see here, you're spending about 600 campaign energy a day. This milestone runs for every 48 hours, so typically 2 days is how long this one lasts for. But there's some key spots here, right? If you're spending campaign energy, you're also gonna be generating some of these power cores daily. So you have 5 right here on milestone 1, you have another 5 right there in milestone 3, another 5 at milestone 5, 10 at milestone 7, and then as well this other additional 10 at milestone 9. And I think this is a really good stopping point, because if you're doing the standard of what you're expected to do, which is about 600 campaign energy per day in order to hit all your daily objectives, well, that's going to give you it's going to give you close to about 35, if I do the math right, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, so that's 35 over 2 days, which is 17.5 per day. And it's not a lot, but it adds up over time, guys. That's why it's important to do this. Make sure you're spending campaign energy strategically and hitting this mark at least. I think there's some other ones above here, but you have to go about 1800 plus over the 2 days. So it really depends. This is easy to hit when there is a campaign energy spending event. So just something food for thought there. And then last but not least, I think this is the last one here that we can talk about, just because other things happen in the way of events or maybe some codes and so forth that come. But I think the big one here is the daily objectives. This is a big one, guys. There's 50 power cores that get generated per day from finishing all your objectives here. So some of them have already been completed, so I can't really fully illustrate all of it. But yeah, trust me, take my word for it. It looks like I already claimed the ones that already have been placed here when you start off the day, and then you obviously have the login streak. But this generates about 50 power cores per day when you finish all your daily objectives. So again, that's gonna once again add up time to the sum total here. So everything I just showed you guys on screen, now let's put it into a table for your reference. Again, to recap, assuming you're in the top 100 for Arena, you should be getting 150 per day. That's what you should be gunning for. Golden Opportunity is going to give you 50. Save the World, that second milestone, is going to give you 17.5. And then finally, to wrap things up, Daily Objectives is going to give you 50 per day when you finish all your missions and so forth, including the spending of campaign energy. That's about 268 per day. Over the span of a week, that's going to translate to over 1,800 cores per week. And that essentially, guys, is how I've been able to build up my power cores. Because when you're doing this day in, day out, outside of the events that you have to spend 200, you should be saving more than you're spending. If you are using them for, other things such as the store refreshes, the additional raids, getting supplemented energy, obviously your balance is going to dip down. But that's the go-to here, guys. That's why, as you can see right here, it's pretty tight as it is, but you should be able to supplement yourself at least more than 200 per day just by playing the game and being in top 100 in Arena. That's why the difference maker has to be from Arena, and that's why I believe that's the most important game mode, because it gives us an opportunity to get characters that we may not like. For example, the time of recording, we still do not have Hank Pym's event, but I was able to unlock Hank Pym completely free to play because I blew 5,000 power cores on him, and then there was some compensation. But I also unlocked Black Panther Shuri day one because of the power cores. Once again, blowing a 5,000 power cores there, and it seems to supplement itself. As you guys can see, my balance still over 20,000 despite spending 5K each time for the budgeted characters that come to release. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this gives you guys some insight of how I manage my account, but that's how I've been able to build up my power core balance, still blow a lot of power cores for new characters, and at the same time completely free to play and crushing it with the resource management. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hopefully this is insightful. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.